let me tell you about a woman who had everything Hollywood could possibly hand a person. The looks, the star-making role at 19, the famous husband whose brand could have carried a small country, the connections, the capital, the cultural moment, every single ingredient for a generational career laid out in front of her like a buffet. And somehow, through a combination of spectacular miscalculation, a lawsuit that turned into a PR nuclear event, and marketing decisions so tone-deaf they deserve their own case study, she managed to set the whole table on fire. Blake Lively had one shot at the big time, one real shot, and what should have been her Deadpool became her Chernobyl. So let's talk about how you squander every advantage simultaneously, because this story is genuinely instructive in the most painful possible way. Blake Ellender Brown was born in Los Angeles in 1987 into a family that was already industry adjacent. Both parents worked in entertainment, which means the path was practically pre-paved. First role at 11 in a film her father directed. First real break in 2005 with The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, which generated positive coverage and led to a string of forgettable comedies and low-budget horror projects that were not exactly setting anyone's career trajectory on fire. Then Gossip Girl arrived in 2007 and everything changed. 6 seasons on a CW show built around impossibly attractive rich teenagers doing dramatically terrible things to each other. The kind of show that is easy to dismiss and impossible to stop watching. It ran until 2012, made Blake Lively a household name, and positioned her perfectly for the next move up the ladder. That next move was Ryan Reynolds, who she met on the set of Green Lantern in 2010, a film so catastrophically bad that the only good thing anyone can say about it is that it introduced these two people to each other. Reynolds was still married to Scarlett Johansson at the time. By 2012, he had divorced and married Lively at a former slave plantation, which is a historical faux pas so significant it deserves acknowledgement even in a story this packed with other problems. As a couple, they worked extraordinarily well. Funny, self-deprecating, perpetually ready with witty social media banter that felt spontaneous even when it was obviously not. They played the celebrity game with apparent effortlessness, and the public rewarded them for it. They seemed like what every Hollywood power couple wishes it could be: famous enough to matter, relatable enough to like. But here is where the disparity started showing. In 2016, Deadpool happened to Ryan Reynolds. His career did not just accelerate, it detonated in the best possible way. He became genuinely A-list, the kind of star that studios build release calendars around. And while Reynolds was ascending, Lively was stuck in a purgatory of mid-budget dramas and romantic comedies that were competent enough to keep her working, but not significant enough to move the needle. Cafe Society, A Simple Favor, The Shallows. Individually, none of them were disasters. Collectively, they were the filmography of someone waiting for the right vehicle. That vehicle arrived in 2023 when she signed on to Justin Baldoni's romantic drama, It Ends With Us. Yes, she was arguably 15 years older than the character she was supposed to be playing. Yes, the script required significant rewrites to accommodate her creative demands and wardrobe requirements, adding nearly $500,000 to the production budget in the process. But the film had commercial potential. The source material had a passionate fan base, and this was genuinely the breakthrough moment Lively had been positioning herself for throughout a decade of solid but not spectacular work. The problems began before the cameras stopped rolling. Rumors of on-set tension surfaced almost immediately. Conflicts between Lively and Baldoni over creative direction, accusations of controlling behavior, reports of a toxic work environment, and then the promotional campaign, which managed to be simultaneously ambitious and catastrophically misjudged in a way that is almost impressive in hindsight. Lively looked at the Barbie marketing campaign from the previous year, the pink everything, the girls' night out energy, the cultural moment that turned a movie into an event, and decided to replicate it for It Ends With Us. She publicly encouraged audiences to wear floral dresses to screenings, make it a fun night out with friends, and, because why not, use the occasion to promote her drinks brand simultaneously. The drink brand promotion attached to a film about domestic abuse and abusive relationships. To be clear, Barbie was a nostalgic, lighthearted comedy designed for exactly that kind of celebratory audience experience. It Ends With Us is a serious, emotionally heavy drama about escaping an abusive relationship. These are not the same genre. They are not even adjacent genres. Promoting one like the other while simultaneously advertising alcohol is the kind of decision that only makes sense if you have never actually watched the film you are promoting. Despite all of this, the film made $350 million at the global box office. Blake Lively finally had her breakthrough, And then everything fell apart at extraordinary speed. By December 2024, Lively had filed a lawsuit against Baldoni alleging harassment, defamation, and a coordinated campaign to destroy her public image, including claims that he had hired a crisis PR firm to preemptively attack her on social media. Baldoni retaliated with a $400 million lawsuit of his own targeting not just Lively, but Ryan Reynolds and Lively's publicist Leslie Sloan, alleging extortion, breach of contract, and defamation. According to Baldoni's legal team, Lively had hijacked the costume department, added nearly $500,000 to the budget through her demands, and threatened to publicly damage his reputation as leverage for more creative control. Reynolds, who had spent years carefully cultivating his nice guy with attitude public persona, was alleged to have shown up on set angry and confrontational, a departure from the brand so significant that it gave the internet genuine whiplash. The couple's response to the escalating situation did not help. Reynolds appeared on SNL and made jokes about what his legal team and his wife's legal team were simultaneously characterizing as a serious, traumatic professional situation. The reception to that decision was unanimous and brutal. Old interviews of Lively resurfaced, as they always do when the internet turns on someone, showing her as prickly and difficult in ways that seemed minor in isolation and damaging in context. It doesn't have to be definitively proven, it just has to stick, and it stuck. The public perception of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds transformed with a speed that should serve as a warning to every celebrity currently coasting on carefully managed likability. The fun, self-deprecating couple next door became a story about a Hollywood power couple using their influence and resources to bully, manipulate, and silence people with less structural power. Whether that characterization is fully accurate is almost beside the point. It became the dominant narrative, and dominant narratives in celebrity culture are nearly impossible to dislodge once they settle in. Baldoni's lawsuit was eventually dismissed, but the reputational damage was already irreversible in practical terms. Reynolds, established and essential enough that studios absorbed the controversy and moved forward, weathered it. Lively, who had not yet cemented herself at that tier, did not. Her drinks brand folded. Former collaborators began creating visible distance. High-profile roles stopped materializing. In PR terms, she became genuinely radioactive, the kind of controversial with active legal baggage that no casting agent with a large budget and a studio looking over their shoulder wants anywhere near a production. As of now, there is nothing significant in her pipeline. Her defamation case against Baldoni is scheduled for trial in May 2026, with 10 of the original 13 charges already dismissed. Whether the trial produces vindication or further damaging revelations is genuinely unknowable, but the entertainment industry is not known for waiting around to find out. After the Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp trial permanently altered how the public processes these situations, the automatic sympathy that might once have extended to a female accuser has largely evaporated. What remains is uncertainty, and uncertainty is the thing Hollywood is least willing to finance. The cruel irony at the center of all of this is that the film that was supposed to be Blake Lively's defining career moment, the role that would finally elevate her to the tier her connections and profile always suggested she was capable of reaching, ended up being the thing that broke everything. $350 million at the box office, a genuine cultural conversation, and a complete professional implosion happening simultaneously. She had every ingredient. She had the role, she had the moment, she had the husband, the brand, the platform, the audience, and somewhere between the floral dress marketing campaign and the $400 million lawsuit, the entire architecture collapsed. Hollywood does not forgive easily. It especially does not forgive expensively. And right now, Blake Lively is both. Drop your take in the comments. Do you think there is a path back from this, or is the damage genuinely permanent? Like the video if this breakdown gave you the full picture, and subscribe so you are already here when the trial developments start dropping. See you there!